Welcome to Biker Life Radio with Chuck-n-Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. on 1490 AM WWPR. And now, here's Chuck-n-Deb.
Hi, I'm Chuck
and Deb,
and welcome to Biker Life Radio. We are so truly grateful and thankful that you've joined us today. We've got a fantastic show lined up just for you. Take it away, Deb.
Biker Life Radio is for those who are inspired to ride and those who inspire others to ride. We are here to reveal the truth behind the motorcycle mystique and provide real-life stories that will help you discover your purpose, achieve true freedom, and define your destiny.
Right.
And today's show sponsors are Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So if you are ready to crank up your engines, put your chins in the wind and knees to the breeze, seatings and saddle, let's get rolling.
All right. Well, let's get this show rolling. We're truly grateful that we've had a fantastic last week with Thanksgiving. Boy, I'll tell you what, I think I've gained, what are you looking at me, Deb? What do you think? Maybe 15 pounds?
20. Oh, I mean 10. I didn't mean that really.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
think you've
Okay.
gained
Whatever.
anything.
I'm not believing you for a second.
You must be saying that I'm an awesome cook or something if you've gained that much weight.
You actually did absolutely fantastic for Thanksgiving Day. You did it all yourself. Nicole helped you with the deviled eggs. Those turned out real well. But yeah, you did great. You did absolutely fantastic, and I'm still eating some of it. Hopefully it'll be gone, sometime soon.
Yep, and those that do the cooking during the holidays, there are some years when it's okay. There are some years when you are just on. And I have to say, not bragging, but I am bragging.
Oh, okay.
This year, it was an on year. I mean, as the cook, oftentimes it doesn't taste quite as good. But this year, I have to say, I thought it was an amazing dinner, and it was fantastic. We still had Rush in town, and
well,
so
maybe that's why it was fantastic. Maybe you made it special for Rush.
Possibly.
Sort of like how you ride right next to Rex instead of riding close to me.
Okay.
Sort of like somebody else comes around, you make sure they get taken care of real well.
Whatever. So, what I did notice while we were out riding this weekend is that Rush rides right up near you, where when I am leading, I must say Rush kind of holds himself back a little bit.
Oh, so now you know what it feels like, huh?
I do. I did notice that. And I'm like, dang, he is right up there in formation with Chuck. But when I'm up there, it feels like he's, way back there. Not any bad thing about Rush, but it was just a matter of noticing that when I'm either leading or sweeping or whatever, but it was just a difference. So I get it. I understand what you're saying. I maybe.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I don't know that that's absolutely true, but I mean, he wasn't riding right there. I think he just gave you more space because he wasn't sure about your riding skills. Now I can just hear him saying right now, leave her alone.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. He's got my back more than others.
Leave her alone. He's always saying that.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. I'm sure some of the other listeners are out there saying that.
Well, they should be if they're not. So I'll say it for them.
Really?
Leave
Why?
me alone, man.
Maybe they should be telling you to leave me alone most of the time.
Maybe. Ladies might really want me to back off because I'm pretty tough on you sometimes, I guess. Yeah, right. Okay.
So what else did we have going on? We celebrated. It was a fantastic Thanksgiving with family. We enjoyed that. And then we actually took off on a ride the next day. Where'd we go, Deb?
We got some good riding in this past weekend after Thanksgiving. It was nice to have a little bit of a long weekend. One of the eclectic sites, I think, that I want to make sure and share with everyone that we did take Rush to out on a ride was a pretty cool place, kind of Florida crackerish like, but was Linger Lodge. And if you haven't made it out to Linger Lodge in Bradenton, it is a place like none other I've been to here in the great state of Florida. Now, it could be that we just haven't stumbled across it, but it's a pretty interesting place. Would you agree?
Oh, no doubt. It's very you can't find it. It's not an easy place to find.
No.
So you definitely got to have some type of GPS to get there. But it's a neat place. They have neat items on the menu. Roadkill. I wish I had that picture right in front of me. I'd go over some of that.
Yeah.
But it was really neat. Different place, sort of secluded. Used to be an RV campsite, I think. That looks like that's no longer available, but they do have like a trailer park there, I believe. So yeah, it was very neat. It's very eclectic. They got a lot of different things on the walls, alligators, stuffed animals. We'll try to get some of those pictures maybe posted on our page because they're quite interesting.
Yep, absolutely. And those also that live in the area, we did kind of an Eastern County loop too, which many know the area, kind of do this big loop. Now, we kind of cut it short because the sun was going down, but we wanted to make sure we got out east where there was no traffic and just, 2-lane roads to go do some riding on. And that's kind of how we ended that ride that day.
Yeah, we definitely just went out east and just took it easy, nice, easy ride. No nuts out on the road. No, body trying to pass us on 64 like they normally do. So that was unusual because usually they're trying to run over us.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it was a great ride. And then Sunday, we decided to wake up early before all the traffic hit the roads and get out to the island and do a north to south island ride. Now, that's one of our favorite rides, especially in a morning time area. And I thought it was pretty cool. It not only was the weather a little bit cool, but the traffic was kind of nice. And then we had little sprinkles of rain throughout the morning time. And so just a nice way to get out, see the island, show Rush a little bit about what the island life is about. Very different than the mainland lifestyle. So it was kind of cool thing too.
Yeah, it's always nice to go on an island because, at least for me, whenever you go out on the island, people are they're out on vacation. So you're walking the streets, they're checking it out. So you actually, if you allow yourself to be, you can actually become like on vacation too. And that's what I like about it, is just getting out there. I feel like I'm on vacation. And so we went to the Rod and Reel Pier. Right? Isn't that what it was?
Yes, we went out to the northern pier. Someone else had said something about the Rod and Reel Pier, and I don't know that we made it to the Rod and Reel Pier. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I thought it was, and maybe I got to check my notes, and then, we were corrected because I thought I went to the northernest part of the island, but somebody corrected me and say I didn't go to the right place, so I didn't actually go all the way north.
And we do normally go all the way north, and we did kind of cut it short because there was construction on that one pier, and it was a great time out there. You can see the skyway from that area, and it's just a phenomenal view over the waterways and on the bridges and getting all of that island life in.
It'll be neat to see what happens when they get the pier built, and so we'll check that out. I've got to make sure I got the right name. Maybe we'll come back to that. And then we headed back down. Then we went south all the way from Anna Maria Island to Longboat Key, to Lido Beach.
Right.
And then we went into the state park that was down there and turned around down there on, I guess that would be Lido.
Yeah, that's the end of Lido Beach, I do believe. And so we did. We made the U-turn there, hit the circle, made sure we gave him a little bit of the zest of St. Armand's Circle. And then we headed back toward our destination, which was home. So a great time. And, the one thing about being out on the island, like you said, I don't know that I feel, but it seems as though island time hits and all time and space just zap are gone when I get out on that island for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but I just love that fact that all of a sudden time is gone.
I can see what you mean. When you get out there, you just sort of zone out with what's going on, enjoying the ride, checking out the sights, the scenes, the smell, the ocean air. It just brings that rush in a way, not really a rush, but a good feeling to you as you ride. And I love that. I love any type of island ride. That's one of my favorite rides, as long as there's not a lot of traffic and a lot of cagers out there from up north. And thank goodness we actually did pretty good that day, that we didn't have many problems at all. Rush actually did enjoy himself for the first time in his life.
No, he's not here to defend himself. But he did say he had a great time and enjoyed the ride. That's for sure.
Just kidding, Rush. Just wanted to give you a hard time. Anyway, we all had a blast. We stopped off, got a bite to eat, and then we hit a bunch of different places. We went to the Salty Shamrock.
The Salty Dog.
Salty Dog. See, I'm really all over the place,
Yeah. Salty Dog, which is a great stop along the way. And then we also hit our Mi Pueblo, our favorite place for Mexican food.
But the only reason we did that is because the margarita that Rush had at the Salty Dog just really wasn't very good. It was like really too sweet. The person that sold it to him, he just thought he was getting something else, and it was just really one of those sweet margaritas. And so we had to get that nasty taste out of his mouth and take him to a place where there's a good margarita.
Right. Show him.
So that's what we did. We, just had a drink there and then took over after we rode around a little bit down to Lido Beach and some back ways. And then we finally made our way over to
Mi Pueblo. Yes, that's right. For the margarita. And we got a lot of grief about that too. Yeah. But at the first place at the Old Salty Dog, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Rush was like starstruck by the bartender. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but there was something there. It just wasn't the margarita that we're used to. So you're absolutely right. We had to show him what a true Mexican margarita from a great place was all about. And he did like it, I must admit.
Well, I hope so. He didn't really say much. His eyes were crossed and his hair was shuffled, lost his hat and his sunglasses, and then he thought he was supposed to be wearing gloves because he was in Michigan, and he sort of got freaked out. Other than that, he seemed to be doing okay.
Yeah, I tried to put his coat on. I couldn't figure out what that was about, and I said, dude, man, put that in your bag. It's Florida, and don't do that. You'll be burning up.
Yeah,
So one other thing that we were unable to attend, but I wanted to make sure that we talked about, because this is a phenomenal event. Again, this time of year during the holidays is a great time. But Bird's Barracuda had a toy run this weekend, and it was all to benefit the families of Athletes for Hearts.
Yep. And that's great. And normally every year we do the toy run.
Correct.
As we can. I think we've been, did we go last year? I can't recall. I don't think so. Maybe.
I don't know. This time of year gets pretty hectic.
Yeah, it does. There's so much going on.
Teaching. Yeah, it's so busy, and everybody's got something going on for sure.
I know the West Coast Florida riders that were out there representing, and that looked like that went well. Hopefully they had some good participation. I believe they did. I didn't see how many bikes they had, but I know I did see some pictures, and it looked like it was a very successful event, Deb.
It was a well-attended event, and I know that they were making announcements about it being an even longer escorted ride than in years past. So it looked like they went down by the Don Cesar, which is a normal place for them to stop down there on the island, and then back up. So I'm not quite sure where it all led, but it looked like it was a great turnout.
Yeah, and remember that the last time we went, there was a problem. There was an accident or something, and we didn't really think they were going to be able to have it again, or something happened. And I think a police officer, one of the police riders were involved, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. That's been a few years, but you're right. Now it's coming back to me.
And then I remember seeing on some of the photos that they had, it's like they did, the officers there, the sheriffs or whoever they were, the deputies were in full force. Like you said, it was a police escorted ride, which is always a great way to take a ride, especially that toy ride.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what's nice about that ride? I love that ride. It's sort of like DC. People are lined up and down the street. They're cheering you on. They're out there. They're loving the bikes. They're loving the season. They're loving the cause. And it's just a great ride as a rider because you feel that you're doing good for the children that needs these toys, or not in this case, it was the athletic group. But
right, the Athletes for Heart. And we'll talk about that organization in a minute.
But you still feel that you're out there serving a purpose. Your biker's doing good. And then you got out there with the people that are supporting you. And plus you're on a motorcycle. It's like, how could it get it really any better?
Absolutely right. So the Athletes for Heart is a benefit for children in need of medical attention, specifically for a heart condition, which I think is a phenomenal cause. First time I've heard of them. They actually receive approximately $100,000 annually and given to families in need. So I think that that's a great organization. Again, it's not something that we oftentimes hear about, children dealing with heart-related medical issues. So I kind of kudos to them for going out and above and beyond. I know there's some other things that this particular organization does for fundraising, and it's pretty awesome that Bert's was able to join them in this event to help with some of that contribution too.
Yeah, it's really good to see us out there helping out the community. You know, again, that's busting the motorcycle mystique where they just think us bikers are out there stirring up all sorts of trouble or whatever it is that they think about us. But here you are, you had hundreds, if not thousands of bikes out there supporting a great cause, and the community came together and just made it one big positive experience. So what we need to do right now, Deb,
what do
we need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Our sponsor today is Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy. If you desire to be a leader in this fast-growing cosmetology industry, then contact Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado at 719-390-9898. Again, 719-390-9898, or visit coloradosprings.tonyguy.edu. For more information about Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy, call 208-930-1276. Again, that number is 208-930-1276, or visit them at courtalane.tonyguy.edu, or visit the Chuck-n-Deb Show sponsor page for more information.
All right, welcome back. I just had a weird idea.
Oh, no.
Let's try to get Rush on the phone. He's camping right now over in DeSoto, the national park, right across the Skyway.
Yes.
So I've got an idea. Let's see if we can get him on the phone and mess with him.
Okay.
So hold on just a second. I'm going to try to get him on here. Deb, go ahead and do some talking until I can get him on the line.
Okay, so for those that may not know, Rush is an avid camper and absolutely loves it. So we're going to get him on the phone and see what we can do to chit-chat.
It's ringing.
Thing. What? I hate that.
What? Are you there?
Yeah, yep. I just stoked up a little fire. I need to get some food in me. I ain't had nothing but pork and beans this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, just so you know, Rush, you are live and on the air as we talk.
Oh, not a good time, man. Not a good time.
I don't know. Pork and beans sounds pretty amazing for camping.
Oh, it's all you need, man.
That's right.
Throwing a hot dog or two, or who knows what.
So You're just out there eating cold pork and beans?
Well, no, yeah. Well, half of half of that can I did, and then I put the can into the fire pit and let it get warmed up. So I kind of gourmeted a little bit and warmed it up.
Well,
sounds pretty good.
Really special breakfast of champions.
That is a special breakfast of champions. So you slept there last night? How cold did it get? Do you know? Do you know?
They said 49, but. Yeah, and
from what 49. I understand, Rush, you sleep, completely bare. You don't have any sleeping bags. You don't have any clothes on. You don't do anything.
No.
You don't get to do anything but get in your tent, right?
Yeah, I'm just out of here with, what do you call those, skunk apes? That's it, man. I saw 4 yesterday. 2, 1 mermaid and a couple skunk apes.
So good. So now you're doing it all natural. Is that how you say that?
Natural.
All natural, whatever, with the skunk apes.
Well, yeah.
And it gets even better because you're surrounded by mermaids.
Absolutely. I was thinking about swimming naked with the manatees later if they let me, but I don't know, man. We'll have to see what happens.
You are a wild man that way, that's for sure. I haven't heard of anybody swimming nude with the manatees, so that'll be a good one.
I don't know if it'll scare them or please them.
So when do you plan on starting to do all this stuff?
It's hard to say, man. I got to get some food in me, and I'm kind of roughing it right now, man. It's kind of roughing it a little bit.
Do you need us to shoot up a flare so you can find us, or do you need to shoot a flare so we can find you and come rescue you?
Oh, no rescuing about it, man. Just need to get some food in me, and probably I didn't get all the sleep I probably should get, but hey, you can sleep when you're dead.
So do you have your hammock up already?
No, I don't, because there is 3 spots, but 2 are kind of too close to the fire, and unless I move the fire in the middle of the dancing floor or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Poles and, so I haven't got that up yet, but I'm going to have to do some clearing, and I know they won't let me, but right. I haven't not yet, but no, I know if I lay into that thing, I'm done.
You're done. I knew that too, so that's why I was curious.
Crash.
And so it got pretty windy last night. Is that what was going on? You couldn't get the fire going too well?
No, man. They only give you a rather small galvanized, kind of like a wash basin or a tub, and that's it. So, so you're only limited to what you can get going, anyways. But there's so much of that. What is it? The palm trees all dried up and stuff. There's so much of that all over that. So you're actually out trimming the palm trees for the park? To
get the timber to start the fire?
But I'm looking for coconuts.
Oh, yeah.
Take all their coconuts.
Well, you'll need some coconuts to help keep you warm.
No, man, it's perfect, man. It's perfect. Perfect, man.
So when you're not nude, what do you wear? A G-string, fishnet G-string?
No, just some Speedos.
Oh, you decided just to keep, you didn't want to really upset too many Floridians, huh?
Oh, no, man, that's just crazy.
So Rush, I mean, this is, people are going to hear this everywhere. What do you say to the Michigan people that don't think that it gets cold in Florida, like you did to me a few weeks ago?
Oh, well, we kind of get a nice little chuckle out of, how cold you guys think it is. But I understand, because you guys are spoiled for a great reason. But that's kind of my take on it.
There you go.
I think you guys are just spoiled, and that's cool. But we get it. We get a little chuckle out of it. But seriously, 49 for an overnight low and 61 for a high. Yeah, that's pretty close to perfect.
Yeah, you're sort of like living in paradise, huh?
Yeah,
pretty close.
Exactly. We're camping now, buddy.
There you go. So
the last camping expedition you had a few weeks ago, there was a little bit of fire issue with wood and things. How is this particular campsite for the firewood?
There was abundance of firewood. If you just got to pay $9 a bundle. So I just picked up 7 of them and said, let's go, let's burn some shit up.
In your little bitty fire basin.
Yeah. You're right, exactly, because you're just so limited. But, I've been clearing the, I don't know what you call that, the underbrush or whatever, yeah, of all these coconut trees or whatever they are. And and I've just been burning up all that kind of stuff. But now as it gets, later afternoon, early evening, then I'll go back to the bottom stuff. And
okay.
But no, man, it's pretty badass, man. It's pretty cool here. Very cool.
So anyway, the Michigan people, I hear what you're saying. It is cold. And for us, it's really cold, like you say, because it's, we're not used to this kind of weather.
Right.
I mean, I don't even think I barely have any long sleeves or anything for winter. I just don't. It's very little.
Oh my goodness! I'm just so prepared no matter where I go, because it seems like no matter where I go, it could change overnight, or you wake up the next morning, you're under a little blanket of snow, or it's a little rainstorm wash you away, or silly.
Well, how did Liv do last night?
Piece of cake. Well, the thing about it is, I got that tent nestled back on in, and the canopy overhead is, all that stuff for the squirrels and raccoons. She did chase a raccoon last night. Chased it up a tree. So, but no, man, it's been, she did fine. She was just so alert. And just heard a lot, smelled a lot. And, those coons they're all over the place, checking stuff out in all the trash containers. There's umpteens of them, which is good. But no, she tore it up. She gobbled it up.
So did you actually see a coon?
Oh, yeah,
raccoon?
Yeah. It was up in the tree. Oh, yeah, Liv just about got a hold of it.
Wow. Woo. And just so our viewers know, Liv is Rush's German Shepherd.
Yes, yeah. She's a 5-year-old German Shepherd, and totally out of her mind about chasing. That's the only thing. She's not an aggressive dog. She's very passive, very family-oriented, just a sweet, sweet thing. But, she likes to chase. And sometimes she actually latches onto him, and it's not usually pretty good for them.
Now, this particular campsite is much closer to the water. What are your thoughts about camping inland versus out near the water areas?
I haven't, with my dog being, for the most part, not a water-friendly dog. Mm-hmm. She doesn't do well with it. So we've been limited. She's been limited to the water thing. And today we walked and checked out where it's at a pet area, but it just didn't work out. So I wasn't sure if I read the map wrong or what. So, but But no, we haven't really been able to check out the waterfront yet, but
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You've got plenty of time. You've got days to do that.
Yeah, you're just chilling out, just making the best of it. Any special plans for the rest of the day?
No. Like every day, every minute, it's just off the seat of my pants, and it all depends on the tunes I'm listening to at the time. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm tired, I sleep. And for the most part, I'm pretty much just so chilling like a felon.
Well, I know you're out there and enjoying it, and so we'll let you get back to it because you're getting into one with nature.
Yes.
And you're getting, what'd you call it today? You're rebooting yourself?
Right. Rebooting the system.
That's it.
Rebooting the system, recharging or giving it a swift kick in the ass to get her going again.
There you go. And sometimes we all need to do a little bit of that, whether it's, kick somewhere or just getting out in nature and just letting go and getting off the grid, like riding. That has a lot to do with riding. And camping's the same way. You get out there, you get away from everything, you get to clear your mind and just get really balanced all over again.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. And this is very equivalent in a sense to me. In the saddle on a bike. Excuse me, man, my throat. And but I'm telling you, man, the feeling that you get is equivalent in its own way. Like riding. You're into this. You're just, I don't know, just kind of leaving everything behind for a while. And I was sitting there last night, completely, totally dumbfounded in the dark, and never felt so goddamn good about not having a thought on my mind at the moment. It was so surreal, so very, very cool. And I don't know, it just keeps me going.
Well, we're glad you're out there and enjoying yourself,
Absolutely.
Making the best of your trip to Florida. And you really are. This is your second campground that you've gone to. And I remember you told us before you came down that was what you wanted to experience. You wanted to get out there, get in nature, strip down, run around. And that's what you're doing.
Swim naked with the manatees. I don't think that was on the list, but that's...
I would have felt a little bit better if he said he was going to swim naked with the mermaids.
I know. I'm a little...
Man,
but to each his own.
I know, no judgment, Kev. No judgment, Rush.
But manatees are nice and cute and plump
and slimy and whatever else comes
I don't know
our
if they're
way.
slimy. I
don't know. I would think so.
Kevin, you'll let us know if they're slimy, won't you?
Right. We need to report back on that.
I don't know. What happens in St. Petersburg stays in St. Petersburg.
That's probably a good thing, especially with you involved, Rush.
I think that sounds like the best policy.
Hey, man, it's only illegal if you get caught.
That's right.
So, did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
All to the millions of people in the Tampa Bay area. As a matter of fact, right now, Kevin, we've got listeners converting on your position. I've just got text. It's blowing up on Facebook. They're saying they're going to DeSoto right now. They're going to find you.
They want to join the party. That's all they want to do.
They want to join the party. They want to strip down. They want to be skunk apes like everybody else.
And swim with the manatees.
So, if I was you, I'd be prepared. I know you wanted quiet. We really didn't mean this, but it's just blowing up here.
Is,
I mean,
golly.
my phone's going crazy.
Right.
Facebook's bouncing off on. I can't hear you, Deb. What?
I said, thank goodness it's on mute because they're just going crazy.
It is just absolutely nuts. And some of the things they're saying and some of the things they're saying they're bringing.
So
or not bringing.
Well, I certainly do appreciate you calling me when I'm quite drunk. So that's really cool. So this will be interesting to hear the playback. So I hope I didn't offend anybody.
No.
But I got a wonderful buzz on, and I'm telling you what, I am just, I don't know, I'm a very lucky, fortunate man. I am just really...
In a good place.
In a really good place, man. Feeling good. This is a great, wonderful place.
Cool.
Well,
that's awesome.
We couldn't ask for more because we're just happy that you're happy. And so we've got to wrap this up on this end, Kevin. I should rush. So we're going to let you send it off and let everybody know where you are and how to get a hold of you.
But if I did that and they showed up, they'd be going to jail along with others or everybody. No, 144 at DeSoto, man.
There you go.
You're scared, call the cops.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Thanks, Rush. Talk to you later.
You got it, man. Peace out.
Attention. Get a pen and paper ready. Call this number now, 516-407-9135. Listen. Would you like to make money using your cell phone? If so, then stop everything and listen to what I'm about to say. I can't believe how simple and fun this is. All I do is give out this phone number, 516-407-9135, and this 100% phone-based business spits out $100 commissions paid directly to me. You have to hear this. Call and listen to our short 2-minute intro, and if you like what you hear, simply press 1 to get all of the details instantly over the phone. You'll have all of the details and info you need to make a decision within 10 minutes from now. I love this and you will too. Call 516-407-9135 now. Again, call 516-407-9135. That's 516-407-9135 or visit supermansuccess.com.
All right, welcome back. We hope that it aired okay with Rush on the line with us. It sounded okay on our end, so we're just hoping that it sounded okay on your end. And we hope that you're okay with just throwing Rush on there like that. Well, I guess I should be saying I hope he's okay with us throwing Rush on there like that, because you did hear a lot of, ums, and he just wasn't prepared. He's out there chilling out
he's just
in
having
nature.
a great time. Absolutely right.
And then we got to bother him,
I know, but that's what friends are for, is just to disturb him. So he was raw and unapologetic. I don't know.
No, he wasn't raw and unapologetic.
He's just raw.
He was just raw Rush. Just Rush.
Yeah,
that was
just
him.
Rush. That's it.
Yeah, I'm glad you got this while I'm drunk so I can listen back to it. Okay, well, we're having a lot of fun here. We hope you guys are too. We're gonna, as the end of the year comes up, we're gonna be getting geared up for next year. So, as everybody knows, there's a lot going on during the holiday season, and it actually, for our holiday season, started like about 2 months ago.
Yes,
we've been on the road, just going, and we've been working on some great things that we're going to start to bring out after the beginning of the new year. And one of those things is our Work Less, Ride More program that you're going to want to stay tuned and learn more about. And we have been saying that we're going to do daily podcasts on that. And unfortunately, we have dropped the ball, Deb.
We have, and I'm super sorry about that.
Sorry, it's not going to cut it.
I know.
It was something that we made to ourselves, and it just hasn't worked out just because, we've had Kevin in town for almost 2 weeks now.
Over 2 weeks, going on 3 now, so he's been a long time guest.
So it's been hard, as you can probably imagine, after hearing Rush on the line to just have a normal life. So that set us back just a little bit. So we're as Rush decides to go back home, whenever that might be, we're going to focus more on what we need to do for you guys, bring you some really good content coming next year. We're going to have some good interviews. We know we've got people that are lined up for interviews. Yes. We just got to make sure that we make plans for that. And as you can imagine, that during the holiday season, it gets to be a little difficult with time.
Yes.
So we're having difficulty with time and scheduling, just because there's so much going on this time of year, and so are the other people. So as we begin to move in that direction, you'll start to see some new things come out with us.
Absolutely.
And again, that Work Less, Ride More, if that sounds just a little bit enticing, just a little bit interesting, then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned, and you'll want to actually subscribe to our podcast. All you have to do is say Biker Life Podcast. Here, let's do it all over again. It's Google. Play Biker Life Podcast with Chuck-n-Deb. So maybe your phone just opened up, or what's the other one? Alexa? I don't have that one.
I don't know. I'm
Alexa,
not Alexa. Yeah.
Play the Chuck-n-Deb show. Maybe that'll
Biker
open
Life
up.
Radio podcast.
So wherever that goes, whatever application platform opens up, if you would go ahead and click subscribe, you'll never miss an episode or a show. So we do our radio show here, and then we convert that into a podcast so that all those that are working throughout the day or for whatever reason, they're not able to be here and to participate and to listen in, we make sure that we repurpose that out in a podcast though, so that we can reach even more people.
Yeah.
So we've got something really special right now. Before we're going to turn it over here in just a moment to Dutch Van Alstin and his Raw and Unapologetic segment. But I wanted to mention this, Deb.
Okay.
Dutch's debut
Correct.
podcast that we did, the podcast, as I just mentioned,
Yes.
we convert the show into a podcast. His was the #1 downloaded podcast last month.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
And
awesome.
that was his debut. And you know what? That debut was a fantastic debut. He did a great job. I was just listening to it again today just to get familiar with it. And I love that show. So if you haven't, again, listened to that show, you'll want to go out and listen to that. That's episode 32.
Okay.
And it's got Raw and Unapologetic in it. It's also out on our Facebook page, The Chuck-n-Deb Show. So you'll be able to find it there. So it is now time.
Without further ado,
There you go. Let's introduce Dutch Van Alstin, the author of
Demons Rising, the story of the Wayward Scout, book #1 in the Life Behind Bars series.
book series. Yep. And so he has a segment that he does for us. It is Raw and Unapologetic. Take it away, Dutch.
Hello and greetings and salutations or any other word that you can come up with. I am Dutch Van Alstin. I am the author of Demons Rising, the story of the Wayward Scout, book #1 in the Life Behind Bars book series, and I am Raw and Unapologetic. First off, I just want to harken back real quick to last week and thank everybody for their kind words about my mother passing away. It is greatly appreciated. My heart really goes more out to my sister. My sister was my mom's primary caregiver. My mom lived with my sister. And although I pick on my sister on the show quite a bit, my sister really is a good and decent person. And I can't thank her enough for how well she took care of my mom. So I'm going to shift gears here real briefly. And I wish I could come up with a more clever opening greeting other than hello. But I can't seem to come up with one. I'd like to match something like Adrian Cronauer used to have with his Good Morning Vietnam, or even something as iconic as hey, 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 you know, with Fat Albert. But until then, until I can think of something, it's just going to be hello. And I'm just going to have to rely on my natural charm and wit to engage you and entertain you. And often my charm and wit over the years has not served me well. And there's been a couple people with badges and guns who would definitely attest to that over the years, where it just did not work. Things are getting a little bit better here this week. Bubbles has been improving a lot around the office. She did, however, put shake and bake in the coffee filter last week, and then tried to give me cream and sugar as if that was going to negate the taste of buffalo wing sauce, but that is neither here nor there. I look at my table this morning. I see my papers to my left. I see my coffee to my right, and the lovely and kind Bubbles is bringing me a glass with a little bit of ice. Thank you, dear. All right. Okay, today I want to read a letter, actually 2 letters. One is from Amelia Johnson from Roanoke, Virginia. And Amelia asks, Dutch, somebody bought me one recently, and I happen to know that they're nothing but a mystical, wishful thinking type ideology that permeates throughout our culture, that hard work needs to be ignored, and things like hopes and prayers will actually keep you safe. What do you think, Dutch? Well, the first thing I want to know is I want to meet the person who both knows you and still bought you a gift. But first, let's give a quick rundown of what the Gremlin Bell is to those of you who don't know. It is a small bell that you buy for another person, another biker, and it is supposed to bring he or she good luck. You're supposed to place it as far down on the bottom of your motorcycle as you can, because it's supposed to keep the gremlins from the road and harming you. And usually on the frame, I have 3 motorcycles. I have a gremlin bell on all 3, and they are as far down on the frame as I could get them. They are, as Amelia so eloquently put it, they don't actually bring mystical powers, and I don't really think many people believe that. It's just a fun thing to do. It's a respectful gift people give one another, usually to new riders or a new bike, kind of like the christening, whatever that word is, where you smash a bottle on a boat, something like that. But I am a little perplexed at the anger this brought out of you, Amelia. I mean, does things like Santa Claus anger you? I mean, do you want to throat punch the guy when you see him? No, I'm going to bet you're that type of person who takes a garden hose to dogs having sex because you just don't want to see them have fun. I mean, I can't even imagine you telling a fairy tale to a child. And you're going to rewrite Cinderella and just say, oh, she just ran into Al Bundy, who just said, to hell with your glass slipper, and just, I'll sell you a new pair of shoes. Anyway, I did promise to send people a book if I read their question on the air. And I'm going to send you a book, Amelia, but it's not going to be my book. I found another one that I think would be of more interest to you. It's called Unworthy, Stop Hating Yourself by Nellie Rufus. It's an excellent book. It will teach you to hopefully stop hating yourself and stop seeing a joy as your enemy. I think you should then write me a 1,000-word paper in APA format discussing the highest nuances in the book and how they may have helped you, if they do help you. I would tell you to have a good day, but it's probably pointless. So my second letter is from David Kincaid of Columbus, Georgia. Now, David asked, is it true that women throw themselves at your feet when you have a motorcycle? Well, no. Not exactly. I wish I had a little more time to discuss some of the more negative interpersonal relationships that I've experienced over the years, motorcycle notwithstanding. But I'm going to give you just a couple that are more my favorite. I met this one young lady very serendipitously by word of mouth because I was selling something that she wanted, legal in most states today, moral in others. But we just got to talking, so we met up for supper, and things went really well. And we went back to my place. I knew she couldn't resist my style. I would always put on some very romantic music, which was Lay It Down by Rat. Then I would play it twice. And if I wasn't done by then, I would put on Get Stoned by Hinder. I mean, anything to get the mood going. So, one night, or that same night, we were in my room. I'll try to keep this as PG-13 as possible. And things were going very well. And she looked down, pointed, and said, wow, that is one of the biggest ones of those things I have ever seen in any bedroom on a guy. Well, I was just beaming with pride, beaming with principle, and dare I say, maybe a little bit of pulsation. That was until she patted my belly and then followed up with, but don't worry, we can maneuver around it, I'll make it work. So, clearly this wasn't going to go anywhere whatsoever. I mean, it was an over insult. I mean, I knew it was over. There's no chance of any kind of future with her. I knew right then and there. That's it. Done. Completely. So, 35 minutes later, I broke up with her. And I did have the decency to wait until she put her socks and scooted on out the door. Now, you would think that would be the end of that story. Well, not quite. About 2 years later, out at a lovely watering establishment in Rochester, New York, I ran into another charming young lady, and one thing led to another, and we went back to my place, and magic happened. It was a wonderful time. The relationship went on for a couple of more weeks, I think about 3 weeks. It was getting close to Thanksgiving at that time, which is, of course, way, way, way too early to meet family. But she wanted to go to her parents for Thanksgiving, and her sisters were going to be there and all that kind of stuff. So I tagged along. I really didn't want to, but I did. And lo and behold, who do you think her sister was? If it's Miss Point at Your Fat Gut, yes, it was her. So again, I knew this relationship, regardless of the good 3 weeks that we had, was going to go nowhere. And I do mean nowhere. So I took her back home. I was going to just flat out tell her what happened and why we needed to end the relationship, and that's exactly what I did. 35 minutes later, and I got my shoes and socks on and scooted out the door, and I sent her an email later explaining everything that went wrong. So to fully answer your question there, Mr. Kincaid, no. Initially, yeah, I suppose that having that cool-ass motorcycle does a lot. There's no doubt about that. But in the long run, no. At least not in my lifetime. But I know that is one of those stereotypes, and if it's true, I do wish it would rub off on me a little bit over the years, a little bit more than it has. Thus far, it has not. I apparently need more than a gremlin bell to make things work out a little better. So this is why I have such a good relationship with my 4 dogs and my 3 motorcycles. I certainly am putting out my whole life story out there to everybody with not a whole lot of shame involved, I guess. This is where you wish you had that little internal voice saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, Bubbles, I'm sorry, dear. No, I wasn't talking to you. Don't cry. No, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make a point. Please don't cry, all right? Go back in the refrigerator. Yep. There's some cherry Kool-Aid in there for you, dear. All right? Go sit in front of the fan. There's some Kleenex over there. I'm sorry again. I didn't mean to do that, all right? All right. But, yes, your nail polish is very pretty. I like the glitter, okay? But I got to kind of get back to where I'm going here, all right? I only have about 2 more minutes left, okay? So with that, I'm going to kind of wrap things up, and I want to harken back to a little bit last week when I talked about my brother Zonk. I have updated my Facebook page, Like Behind Bars book series, to show a couple of pictures of him and I back in the day. Anyway, they're humorous in nature. He has a good sense of humor. He really does. So he does not mind when I post such interesting pictures. You'll have to go take a look for yourself. Anyway, please go to my website, www.dutchvanalstin.com. Check out my book. Book number 2 is almost in the can, sort of, kind of, maybe, a little bit. I just have to translate a couple of neurons in my brain to wiggle my fingers and rack them out on the keyboard and finish it up. But it is almost there. I just need a few more nights where I'm a little bit angry at the world, and I got a bottle of bourbon next to me that will probably push me over the edge in more ways than one, but I am only speaking about finishing the book. Keep in mind, December is upon us, and if you live any other place than I do in the world, you are probably experiencing winter, so be extra careful out there. People who couldn't drive in the summer can't drive in the winter either. And down here, we got to be extra careful because all of you knuckleheads from the north seem to want to come down here in the winter and bring your old bad habits down here. Why don't you just send your money down here and just stay there? Because the only thing good about you is your money. Okay? I'm probably insulting a lot of my audience, so I'm going to shut up now and sign off. So, again, have a good day, everybody, except to Amelia, who is probably not going to have one. This is Dutch Van Alstin signing off, and have a yabba-dabba-doo time.
And welcome back. I'm Deb, and what a segment, man. He just has a way with words. I wish I could speak that well with just things off the top of my head.
What it gets me is I just wish he would loan us Bubbles. Because it seems like Bubbles would be a lot of fun over here. Well, then I'd have 2 Bubbles.
Oh, 2 blondies, maybe?
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, Kev. I am going to make sure Bubbles, he remembers.
Yeah, I think Bubbles for him means something different. I really don't know. I don't know why he names her Bubbles, but I think that was in one of the segments, maybe.
Oh,
maybe there was a
well,
view. Anyway,
I would not be Bubbles then. Anybody that's thinking about that.
Off course.
You are off course, of
I've
course.
got certain things on my mind right now.
Well, Bubbles, maybe. Okay, so the one thing I want to be sure and talk about, because this is something that's near and dear to our heart, is a holiday event that we participate in and we have for several years. It is the Wreaths Across America, and that in our local area will be happening on Saturday, December 14th.
So that's 2 Saturdays from this Saturday, correct?
One Saturday from this Saturday.
Yep. So the show's airing right now, Wednesday.
Yep.
It's going to be not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Following, right.
So that's
correct.
2 Saturdays.
2 Saturdays away from today, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so moving right along, our meeting location in the local area for the escort is the Home Depot on State Road 64. And we are pretty excited. I've been able to stay connected with Sabina, and she said she will be riding with us. So we just got to do the fine tuning of the details and make sure that she's ready to roll with us that day. Here's a little bit of the details if any of our listeners are interested in participating. Staging will start at that Home Depot on State Road 64 starting at 6:30 in the morning. Now, I know for most of us that is very early. But I promise it is worth every moment of sleep.
You're making promises on the air?
I am, just because it is worth every minute of sleep you don't get that day in order to honor those veterans.
And why do you say that?
Because you're honoring the veterans with a wreath celebrating the holiday, and it's such an honoring memorial event that they do at the Sarasota Memorial Cemetery.
So by giving, you're going to yourself feel good about going out in there and participating?
Receive 10 times more. I always receive 10 times more than I give, especially at that event. And I think that's just a way to honor those service members that are no longer with us.
All right. Well, I interrupted. Go ahead.
So the kickstands will be up at 7:30. So again, depending upon when you choose to show up for staging will be dependent upon where you are in the ride. But it is an escorted ride. So the escorts have been selected to be the Patriot Guard riders, and they will be escorting the trucks and us as riders down to the cemetery.
To the Sarasota Memorial?
Sarasota Memorial Cemetery. Absolutely right. Now, a couple of additional thank yous I want to make sure we remember is Mike Dingle of 4Ds Trucking. Now, as long as we have been doing the ride, Mike has been donating his time, his fuel,
gas,
if I'm not mistaken,
vehicle,
the trucks. And so his time, effort, and trucks for transporting the wreath, and also John Risher Reicher, I might be saying that incorrectly, has a Schneider truck, and he is also donating his time, effort, and his truck to transport the wreaths this year.
All right. Well, it's definitely a good cause. It's a good time. What else?
It is. There are a couple of other organizations and entities I want to make sure we do not forget, because this event would not be what it is without them. So the Florida Department of Transportation, District Number 1, actually is responsible for the digital signs that will lead us down all the way to the cemetery. Now, I know we've had some conversations about the digital signs on the highway.
Don't get me started.
Right. But this is the one time I'm thinking that they will have a good impact on that escorted ride. Also, Manatee County Sheriffs will be helping to assist with the Home Depot and traffic in and out of that location for the start. And then also the Sarasota County Sheriff's Department will be helping with the traffic and traffic flows off of exit 205 heading toward the cemetery that morning. So without all of those organizations coming together to make this event what it is, it would be a cluster of chaos. And I'll say that the nice way.
Okay. So it sounds like that it might be more organized than it has in the past?
It sounds like it. And maybe it has been that organized in the past and we just weren't necessarily that aware of it. But I know there is always a little bit of problem, especially on the interstate when you have that many motorcycles trying to come and go in different locations of what to do. But you can find Wreaths Across America on Facebook if you'd like to connect and learn more, either one state that you're going to be attending or interested. I'm not sure about donations, but certainly you can check there. And I know there may be locations and or links and information in the the Facebook page of Wreaths Across America. They're pretty easy to contact on Facebook if you just go out there and do a little bit of search.
Yep. This is a great big event, and it's a great event for bikers to participate in. Again, it's another one of those bikers doing good events. And if you haven't been out and you need to get out and just do it. That's all I got to say, because you will be blessed, as Deb said, to be able to go out and bless others and help, do what's right and give back to those who has given all for us.
Right.
And it's just something that I truly believe that you'll enjoy the ride, you'll enjoy the ceremony, and you'll get a lot out by laying the wreaths as well.
Yes, and it's not just for bikers. I want to make sure that that's really clear, because even on that Facebook page, they have, if you are with the escorted ride, they ask that you actually have a flag waving from the right side of your vehicle so they can tell in a uniformed fashion that those are the automobiles and cars that are riding with the escorted event. Also, they're wanting to have any motorcycles that have flags also waving those flags too in honor of the event. And so again, it's just a great way to bring us together as a country. And I believe that this happens all over to
all
unite.
Over the nation.
Right. And to unite and really honor those service members that are no longer with us that have given all for us. And so, again, I've mentioned this before. It's something that's personal to us because we lay a special wreath at that cemetery. And we're glad that we can do that with other fellow members. We know many people that have done the same.
Absolutely. And one thing that I'll pass on, a little tip, is that if you do decide to go and it is your first time, then what you'll need to do is be sure to participate in the ceremony. You want to be up there and listen to what's going on, because there are specific instructions about laying the wreaths on the headstones.
Correct.
There's certain wreaths, certain headstones you don't want to do, and you want to leave. You want to make sure that you're not taking off and going out there and laying the wreaths before the families have the opportunity to do so. So what happens is they let the family members go first, so the family members can lay the wreaths on their families, their veteran family has been out there. So just my suggestion is be sure that you go up there around that pavilion, that you listen and participate and follow the instructions that they have, because it really is very important, because this is a time to honor our veterans, and we want to make sure that we do it the right way.
Absolutely. And the other thing, I know that you have done this in the past, is a lot of times at the cemetery itself, those trucks need help unloading. And so if you can volunteer to do that, they create a great systematic chain of people passing the wreaths out, getting them prepared so that when it's time to lay them, it's very easy to flow through and in and out of that. And, if you have the ability physically to make that sacrifice and donate your time and effort and physical muscles to do that, then by all means, there's lots of opportunity to volunteer and participate that day out there at the cemetery.
Yeah, they have young ROTC people out there that are working this, but quite honestly, those guys aren't as big as some of us that are out there.
Right.
And they need help, because there's not a whole lot of them. So there is a lot of help that is needed to unload the trucks. And so part of what we want to do is we want to go out there and actually participate in helping to unload the trucks, because there are quite a few wreaths. We want to get those out, get those set up so they can be placed properly. So even if you gave 5 or 10 minutes of your time to help out with these, it'd be a great help. Okay?
Absolutely.
What else you got, Deb?
Everyone would love to have that information.
We'd love to see you out there. If you guys see us, make sure you come up and say hello. We'd really appreciate that. And we really think that you're going to enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
Well.
So one more time, I just want to make sure we get that out. Saturday, December 14th, meeting in our local area at Bradenton is at the Home Depot parking lot at State Road 64. Staging will begin at 6:30 a.m. Kickstands up at 7:30. Please be sure and participate if it's anything that you would like to, and we will certainly make sure that we talk about it the week after following that event as well. So be sure and come out. We want to make sure you're able to participate if you can, and it is a phenomenal event.
We believe that you will enjoy it, and you'll be given something back, so that'll mean a lot.
Absolutely. So be sure to follow us on Facebook. You can find us at Biker Life Radio, and you can also find us on our website, which is bikerliferadio.com. Also, as Chuck mentioned, you do not want to miss any upcoming shows. So be sure and click the subscribe, like, and share with your fellow writers and or friends. Also, if you can visit Dutch, grab a book. It's a perfect time to buy a gift for those that ride or those who inspire others to ride. It's a phenomenal gift that will keep going on and on all year long as they enjoy the story and then get into the whole entire series. So,
yep, go ahead and pick up Dutch's book. We believe that you'll enjoy it. Again, Deb, good point. It's a perfect gift, all right? So sometimes people don't think they read a lot, but if they pick up this book, they probably won't be able to set it down.
Correct.
So it's a good idea to go out there and pick up Dutch's book. Dutch's book. All right, things are getting better. Yeah, we can tell the show is coming to an end. All right, everybody, I'm Chuck.
And Deb.
And we appreciate you all so very, very much. Thank you very much for listening today, and we look forward to talking with you next week.
See you soon.
You've been listening to Biker Life Radio with Chuck and Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 1490 AM WWPR. We thank you for listening and invite you to join us next week.